What is up, guys? Dylan back here. I'm gonna do a reaction video to Urinate. Today, UrinatingTree's just uploaded his weekly video, which is titled "This Week in Sportsball NFL Week 15 Edition." This is when he recaps every single game and makes fun of losing teams pretty much. Oh boy, after the Falcons choked away another game. Oh boy. I wonder what he's going to say about the Falcons once he gets to that game. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's go ahead and do it.
Watch NFL games live all season long with YouTube.
Alright, here we go.
Mississippi on your time, Angelo. I'm pissed off.
There's not a let me just shut up. Let me answer. Oh, it's good. I hate football.
I'm calling both games. Would you look at that? It's the teams that should be in completely different locations if it weren't for the NFL's greed. I'm not being salty whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even John Gruden knows it from his
point.
hat selection. With this unassuming in-division matchup, Derek Carr would have done damage. If it weren't for his groin-pulling tricks in the back alley, he would be taken out early for the Oregon Civil War. Marcus Mariota is back in the saddle, and he's damn good for coming in cold. The Raiders' offense barely skips a beat. If only it were that easy to call. The Raiders' defense is like Al Davis's corpse, cold and rotting to nothing but a skeletal remain. Yeah, I get they're missing about 5 starters in this game. It doesn't matter. This defense is fucking atrocious. You'd think for the moves they made over the offseason, I'd be expecting some sort of progress from this group. Certainly not for this team. Justin Herbert is really good, but they literally became the autumn wind. No resistance. Pass rush, secondary, anything. If Vegas had a real defense, they'd be playoff bound. Be thankful they're playing the Chargers, who are just as porous. I trust them as much as someone who unironically nicknames himself Money Badger. The game is tied at 24, and Vegas is about to be bailed out of certain defeat again, but the pass is caught by the opposition. My apologies for that awful Joe Buck impersonation. I will never do it again. The Chargers must have thought the same thing as the Raiders did a rare feat. They sacked the quarterback. Oh boy, now you show up. Let's bask in this predictable miss by the Money Badger and head to overtime. Fucking Chargers always fucking everything up for the rest of us. This is the part where the Raiders get bailed out again, right? Well, let's just put it this way. They push down the field but don't have enough, so they kick a field goal. All they have to do is stop the Chargers once. Literally just once. Yet they failed. ESPN gave them a 100% chance of winning the game after that field goal. Obviously bullshit, but still. Congratulations, Raiders. Your postseason ambitions are now on life support. I wish fans were allowed in the stands to see this because they should be booing the shit out of you right now.
You blew it, boy. You really blew it.
Do you still doubt Buffalo's emergence as a contender? Allow them to show you what they're capable of against a middling opponent. Denver, kid, nothing personal. You were just the unfortunate victim caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yes, it was your home stadium. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get your asses kicked to Colorado Springs and back. Maybe in this time Nikola Tesla can develop an electrical current from the momentum Buffalo has against the Broncos. It could also be from Josh Allen, either or would count. I must admit, though, I have made a mistake. The Broncos weren't officially eliminated from playoff contention until now. Not that it matters, they've been unofficially out of the running for a bit now. Buffalo, though, they get a reward they haven't earned in 25 years. An AFC East title. Well done. Despite having a very lopsided record, the Panthers have lost 7 games by 1 score. Unless you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they will give you as close of a matchup as you can get. Going to Lambeau, Green Bay is unfortunately another team where they fall just short. Maybe it had to do with Aaron Rodgers continuing to do his thing. Or it could have been where Teddy Bridge fumbled the ball near the goal line. I'd say that was probably more important. What is more vital, though, is that despite the Panthers quietly creeping back into the picture in the second half, Rodgers took his trusty stake and drove it right through the heart of the vampire. Make that 8 games the Panthers have lost by 1 score. Despite having a bit of a scare in the fourth quarter, Green Bay maintains the #1 seed in the NFC. You can rest easy now, cheeseheads. The Panthers are finally dead. Keep the trainer rolling in Carolina. For the second time in his career, Marty Hurney has been fired as GM of the Panthers. Kind of odd to do it in the middle of a wholesale rebuild, but it makes sense if you look past the surface. Hurney was Jerry Richardson's pick. David Tepper wants his own man there like he did at coach. They disagree on long-term planning for the team. It's as simple as that. I never understood why they brought him back in the first place, but Richardson was loyal to a fault. Not much you can do there. If you're at all familiar with the Lord of the Rings books, you will know about the madness of Denethor. He would send his son Faramir on a suicide mission to retake Osgiliath with several hundred men. They were predictably massacred. Jacksonville must have taken inspiration from this passage. They would send many men to their quick and painful deaths. Baltimore must be taken for reasons. It goes as well as you would expect. The game is over before the first snap. They were outnumbered and outflanked.
I mean,
None
it's the
survived.
Jaguars.
Anything for the almighty tank. The Ravens, thank you for the free win to boost their playoff hopes. Would have been better for them to just forfeit. The Lions' season has been full of a combination of irrelevance and executive ineptitude. This will continue when they have to face the final boss with an underpowered arsenal. They shit their pants in front of King Henry and his murderous horde. And now for some league-sanctioned battery. Good Lord, King Henry, that man had a family! They will join him in the afterlife shortly. King Henry needs more souls to fuel his perpetual machine. Detroit doesn't have too many viable ones left, but it will satisfy him temporarily. He needs the world. The Titans know this, and they will cater to him. You've lost far more than honor. You've also lost the safety of a 9-7 season. I'm scared, boys. As they leave another destroyed franchise in their wake, they continue to a division title. Detroit merely gets more of the standard fare. Another predictable elimination from the playoffs. The Patriots are in an unusual situation today. They are fighting for their diminishing playoff lives. It's unfortunate for them that they have to face death itself. No, not the inevitable reality of a closing window. We're talking about Miami. Harken back to the last few years, especially when New England had to travel down there. They have been their kryptonite. Much to the glee of the rest of the league, the Patriots suffered a very similar fate. The offense couldn't do enough to compensate for their limitations. The defense sorely misses several key players, including Stephon Gilmore. Miami mainly had to keep pushing forward, and they would eventually keep ahead. It's not as pretty as some of their other wins, but the Dolphins have a realistic shot of making the dance. Oh my God, I just realized something. It happened. I don't know how, but it finally happened. The New England Patriots have been eliminated from the playoffs. I feel like we can breathe fresh air again. Hell will come for us again eventually, but at least for a day we can rejoice.
It's gonna be weird not seeing the Patriots in the playoffs.
A world where the goddamn football team has better playoff
It is
hopes than
going
the
to be
Patriots.
so weird.
This is what the NFL has done to us. It's most unfortunate that Alex Smith couldn't be here to join them this week due to injury. Now they must rely on Dwayne Haskins for any semblance of hope. They should know that this hasn't ended well in the past. This would continue here against Seattle. Don't think this is going to be easy for the Seahawks either. You already had your de facto bye week last week. This game is going to be close until the very end thanks to Washington's defense. And Seattle's penchant for not caring about playing a full 60-minute game. What a shame Name Redacted didn't have any real semblance of an offense. At this point, Haskins is going to be traded for a 6th-round pick at best, and his value keeps dropping. Washington's loss is another's gain, however. Despite being a literal heart attack generator, Seattle goes on to January football. Being dumped from Sunday Night Football for the Browns. There isn't much lower you can stoop as a franchise than with that humiliation. Honestly, it shouldn't have been the case. This is as premium an injury bowl as you're going to get.
Injury Bowl 4.
Two teams missing significant
Okay,
chunks of their
that
starting
was
core
funny.
and many key players to injury. The hell could go wrong here? With the 49ers, quite a lot. This is literally the same script that happened in 2018. A team with significant playoff aspirations wrecked prematurely by a metric barrage of wounded. Against the Cowboys, there's no hope for them. The game is really close due to set issues, but San Francisco reinforced their incredible disappointments. Nick Mullins is too turnover prone. The defense is weakened by atrophy. Andy Dalton and Tony Pollard did everything right. Dallas pulls away in the end to keep them hanging on the edge of the playoff race. It's been a shitty year, Niners, but should I tell him? Fuck it, I will anyway. There's going to be a conference
come on, not an
championship.
ad.
Now get best 5G phones on us when
Well,
you buy
thankfully
one.
it's just
And
6
$500
seconds.
when you switch. That's Verizon.
There we go.
Get out.
San Francisco 49ers eliminated from the playoffs.
Leave it to Atlanta to live up to
Here we
every
go.
goddamn stereotype about their franchise.
Here we go. Here we go. He's making the Falcons Buccaneers game. And see what Urinating Tree has to say about the Falcons this
Leave it to
time.
Atlanta to live up to every goddamn stereotype about their franchise. With absolutely nothing to play for besides the false impression that they still have hope for next year, they go all out. Not just that, but it's against a playoff contender in Tampa Bay. This is the kind of talent they would flex from time to time. Not only crushing their opponent on both sides of the ball, but showing no signs of stopping. The flaunted Buccaneers offense can do nothing. It's stunning to see. A 17-point lead in the middle of the third quarter. Now, where the hell have I seen this type of scenario before?
Oh,
Tom
here we
Brady
go.
trying to come back against the Falcons
Here
with
we
a
go.
significant double-digit lead? At this point, it's not even worth a comparison because Atlanta has made this so fucking routine it's not even surprising. Are you even the slightest bit shocked that they blew it? Because they did. I've gone from anger to laughter to straight-up apathy. It's not even news when this happens these days. A mere 95.3% chance of winning? I've seen this episode before. So not only does Tampa Bay escape with a win like many have against them this year, but they get to play them again at home in Week 17. Here's more knowledge to pass on. Since 28-3, the Falcons are 28-34. Does that sound familiar as well? I'm not even joking at this point. Blow it up. It's not even an overreaction. They have to dismantle the core. I just don't know if they can. Not with those dead cap hits. They're stuck in hell. And it's their own damn doing.
Did I ever tell you the definition of instant?
This game is utterly crucial to both franchises in their playoff race. It tends to happen that both teams are bitter NFC North Division rivals as well, so bragging rights are paramount. You cannot lose to the team that could knock you out of contention. Even worse, the loser of this game will probably deal with a mass purge of the coaching staff and some players. Mitch Trubisky might not be here next season, but he's auditioning for teams in free agency. The Vikings are just trying to salvage any sense of what is looking to be a disappointing season. Throughout the game, Chicago would keep their distance against Minnesota. Every epidemiologist would be proud of them for their efforts to isolate. But will it be enough to win? Even with Trubisky trying to give the Vikings a precious gift, the Bears' defense lived up to the hype. At least for the final two drives, Chicago did what they had to do. Their playoff hopes get some life again. As for Minnesota, you've lost and you know what this means. The season is all but lost. People will probably be fired. An unacceptable outcome for a team hoping to make it there at minimum. In other words, Vikings gonna Viking. At least something's consistent this year. A rematch of a bitter pill to swallow. Several weeks ago, Houston had a chance to upend Indianapolis and win a needed game to tamper Miami's draft pick. They fumbled it away. This time, they will have revenge on the road. You may say the Colts have jumped out to a quick 14-point lead, but look at Deshaun Watson. He doesn't want to lose. He's got too much ability to settle with such a disappointing outcome. Thanks to players like him, the Texans are keeping pace with their divisional foe. Clock would be eaten. Yards gained. Field goals traded. Tied at 20. Houston's sponge-like defense remains as porous as expected. They allow Indianapolis to score a touchdown to go up by 7. But Deshaun won't make the same mistakes again. He will drive the length of the field and guide Houston to a win. His chance is here.
Over the middle, caught, inside the 5, ball is loose, into the end zone.
Poetry. All I see is the poetry of motion. Nearly the exact same outcome as last time. It is the punishment of Houston sports. The succubus always enjoys their suffering. The New York Jets. No matter what you hope from them, they will
here we
fuck
go.
everything up. When they need to win,
The
they
Rams
lose. When
got
it's in their best interest to
embarrassed by
lose,
the
they win.
winless Jets.
A shit show franchise with next to no talent
Yes,
and a
I'll be
suicidal
good.
desire to remain a laughing stock for years to come. It continues here. Rams, what the fuck was that? Can you gain some fucking consistency for once in your goddamn lives? You'll completely dominate teams one week and then shit the bed against one of the worst teams in football's recent memory. Why are you treating the ball like an immovable object? The Rams are considered to have an upper echelon defense after crushing the Patriots. Really? Upper echelon? When you can't even stop a totally broken Sam Darnold? How in God's name were the Jets up by 17? They were begging you to come back and win, but you had to keep getting in your own way. Now the worst case scenario has happened for both teams. The imperfect season lies dead. You know something? I had a feeling the Jets would win one random game they shouldn't have been competitive in. I just didn't think it would be this one. Figured LA was going to be too focused on trying to keep pace with Seattle. But they flopped so hard that they allowed the Jets to not only win, but potentially butt fumble their entire tank. Yes, Jets, you have won the battle, but may have lost the war. Thanks to tiebreakers, Jacksonville now holds the #1 pick in the draft. You have to hope they randomly win a game soon, and it doesn't look like they're keen on that happening. Dreams of Lawrence fade for the grim reality of the killing fields. It's so on brand, it's not even funny. Rams, delete your franchise immediately. You have shamed yourselves greatly with this loss, and no one will take you seriously from this point forward.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Backup QB for the Eagles coming in when the team needs him the most and thriving in the chaos. Feels like we've come full circle. They may have very slim hopes of making the playoffs, but to spoil Arizona's chances would be a good statement for the team. The result of this matchup is a smorgasbord of offense. Jalen Hurts is somehow generating momentum for an Eagles group much maligned throughout the season. Kyler Murray does the same for the Cardinals, but with some huge red flags. The turnover game is alarming for Arizona. Their crucial fumbles and picks are allowing Philadelphia to maintain a pulse. The game close in the second half and Jalen not looking to relax, the Cardinals know the stakes. They need to win this game to maintain control of the final playoff seed. Tied at 26, things are getting dicey, but thanks to the magical powers of DeAndre Hopkins, they regain control of the lead. This is Jalen's moment. His time to gain the mantle of Foles, the next legend of Philly. He guides them to the red zone. The touchdown is in sight, but it's not enough. Turnover on downs. Fortunately, the defense does its job, and the Eagles get the ball back. They have one more chance. Can they do it?
Does he have a rabbit in his hat? For the end zone. Tip ball incomplete.
It's not enough. The Cardinals hang on for dear life to both the game and a playoff seed. Now for more Carson Wentz drama. Good luck trying to get someone to take on that contract if you want to trade him. The Saints need any sort of lifeline to stay alive for the #1 seed in the conference. They may have gotten it. Jesus Christ himself descended from the heavens with healthy ribs and core. He has returned under center. Kansas City will be a great challenge, but it's crucial that they win. So far, they've been up to the challenge. The defense has been sturdy. They aren't making too many mistakes. Kansas City is. They're at least keeping it within distance. And that's all you can ask for playing against the best of the best.
Saints run him. And the ball's out. It's in the end zone. Saints. Oh, they can't hold on.
Sadly, you'll have to make your opportunities count against them. 5 more points on your score could have turned the tide, but you can't keep the Chiefs down for very long. Not with their talent. Not with their scheming. Not with the Saints' offense being unable to keep pace with them. I will give them props. They kept it damn close. It was nearly a story for the ages, but Kansas City manages to go for the kill on their final drive. They win by 3. Now, only if you could have had that fumble that slipped out of your hands back, we may be talking a different story. Pity, you needed this one for your first-round bye hopes. It's a reunion of many. Daniel Jones is out of this game to injury, so Colt McCoy will get the nod. And not just him. Jason Garrett is dealing with coronavirus, so Freddie Kitchens will be calling plays today. It all makes perfect sense now. Kitchens is doing the most for the Browns than he ever did as a head coach. The Giants would gain yardage but never seal the deal when it was needed. It's a wasted effort from that defense, which has molded into a rather cohesive unit this past month or so. New York could do nothing on the offensive side of the ball, which is logical considering they are short on manpower. Excuses or not, it's another squandered opportunity for them. especially if they want to win tank division. Their loss is Cleveland's gain. They needed this win to keep up pace in the AFC playoff race. And they also have 10 wins this year. No, Browns fans, you are not dreaming. This is the world we live in. It had to be done kicking and screaming, but you are relevant. Cherish it. What? There was a game on Monday night? No, you must be dreaming. No such thing occurred on that night. The only thing I remember was watching Pittsburgh secure the AFC North. Nothing bad happened. I will hear no arguments. Anything else being spread around is a false narrative. It will not be discussed here. And I hope to never hear of any such heresy on this program ever again. The playoff race is really heating up at this point in time, with a lot at stake for everyone. The AFC North is still in play, as Cleveland will win it if they win out and Pittsburgh loses out. The AFC South tiebreaker goes to Tennessee, but Indy can win it if they win out and the Titans lose at least one game. The wild cards are interesting. Indy, Miami, and Cleveland have them at the moment, but Baltimore is hot on their tail. Oakland is a very slim shot, but they'll need a lot to go right for it to happen. Tank division is still anyone's race. The football team is the best shot by controlling their own destiny, but the Giants have tiebreaker on them. And Dallas and Philly can still clinch if they win out and a few dice roll their way. The NFC South is all but New Orleans is at the moment, but Tampa can clinch it if they win out and the Saints lose out. The NFC West, let's put it this way. Week 16 will go a long way to deciding who wins. Seattle wins that game, they claim it. If LA wins, the Rams most likely have it. Wild cards for the NFC are still a coin flip. Nobody's officially clinched yet, but the Bucks, Rams, and Cardinals hold them for now. The Bears can make it if they win out and one of those three teams loses a game or two. And the Vikings are clinging on for dear life after last week's loss. It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks, and you know the rules.
Don't get eliminated!
Enjoy.
Yeah.
The old cow of the week. This one's pretty straightforward. The nominees are the Rams, the Jets, and the Steelers. All for very, very obvious reasons. Let's take a look at what the audience decided for this week's fate. No surprising, the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the glories of getting humiliated by a broken team on primetime football. Can't say it's undeserved, but the Rams should have gotten more flack. No, I'm not salty. Stop asking. The playoffs are about to be here, and many are looking to lock up their spots for the festivities. Let's consider one of these teams to be your private information, browser searches, web history, etc. You want the security of a playoff berth. You don't want it to be compromised in any way. You want protection from outside dangers. That's easier said than done, you think. Not when it comes to internet privacy. With ExpressVPN, you not only have your information and data protected from the rather nefarious elements of the internet, but you also can get access to region-locked content. Too often I've had downtime during this year and have had an urge to find new content to watch on streaming services. Let's suppose I wanted to watch Rick and Morty on Netflix. I can't get it in the States, but there are other areas it's available in. Just one click and voila, I have it available to me. There are countless countries to explore and new content awaits you in each one. In a way, it pays for itself. And better yet, you can get 3 months of world-class protection free by going to expressvpn.com/utree. 2020 is coming to a close, but the need to protect your data isn't. Make sure you're covered with ExpressVPN. Thank them for sponsoring this video. Blood for the blood god. Injuries for the injury god.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yeah, he's going. Normally, he ends his videos on the week's injuries, as in the case for this year, injuries and COVID.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
And he plays the song Tap.
Lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
May these offerings appease the gods for another week. Amen.
Well, guys, that will do it. That will do it for my reaction of UrinatingTree's this week in Sportsball NFL Week 15 edition. Let's see. So anyway, guys, that will do it for me tonight. Hope y'all have a good night, and hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Hope y'all have a good time with your friends and families. So I'll probably be back on Sunday for the Falcons. We'll see. The Falcons play the Chiefs this week, so we'll see what happens there. So, anyway, guys, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, and God bless.